Transgender activists now comparing their movement to slavery. Have a story about this for you at Breitbart. This is by Neil Monroe, came out today, June 18th. It says here that transgender advocates are now trying to wrap their cause in the identity of black Americans who were slaves in the 1800s. You know, my relatives were of Irish and German descent, Native American. Can I claim reparations? Can I say that their struggles were equivalent to those of the struggles of people who were enslaved from Africa? Now they're calling this movement, this comparison of transgenderism, the transgender fight, to slavery, as some type of rainbow underground railroad, according to Bob McCraney. He's a real estate broker based in Dallas, Texas, who's now offering to help transgender advocates flee from states such as Texas, where legislators have adopted popular laws to protect kids from transgenderism. As though that's a bad thing? Protecting kids from certain materials that aren't appropriate for people of a certain age? Now, McCraney told KFOR.com, we're trying to get people out quietly and get them to someplace where they feel safer, appropriating the language used before the Civil War. You see, it all goes back to the Civil War. To describe the networks that helped smuggle enslaved blacks to the northern states that barred slavery. Well, you also had pockets in the north that allowed for slavery, i.e. New Jersey. New Jersey did not abolish slavery till January of 1866. In fact, in the city of Santa Fe, they had over 400 slaves in 1867, just to show you how complex an issue slavery was at the time. The pre-Civil War Underground Railroad was run by abolitionist activists who would have safe houses for people, particularly slaves fleeing the South, and to compare gay people in Texas leaving the state to the Underground Railroad should be offensive even to people who are gay, scoffed radio host Eric Erickson on June 16th. Exactly. In no way, shape, or form is the transgender or LGBTQ movement, and I'm gay myself, okay? In no way, shape, or form is it equivalent to the struggles that happened during slavery, to the institution of slavery. Kudos to Mr. McCraney, said Erickson, the one guy, now this is just dripping with irony, the one guy who's not fleeing the awful state of Texas, a realtor making a buttload of cash off the fears of those who want to flee the state. Didn't they make a buttload of cash off of slavery? What a genius marketing scheme. What we discovered was we got so much response from other states, talking about McCraney here, who further spoke with KFOR, that expanded this to call it the Flee Red States Movement. We've helped 27 groups of people so far get out. The KFOR.com article quoted one of McCraney's clients, Paul Lewis, who's moving to Michigan, saying, "That's not the Texas I grew up in. My Texas was you are proud to be from here. You help your neighbor. You are loving and kind. And you are turning into something else because my Texans don't feel that way anymore. I feel more hate brewing in the state than I have my entire life, and your decisions are making it worse." Now, I was doodling on the site here on Breitbart and looking at the comments with this article. And somebody mentioned that somebody they knew who was a pastor, his name was Todd, told his congregation that he is now Genevieve. Well, they booted him out of town, and he ended up in Minnesota. Minnesota. Isn't Minneapolis under scrutiny right now with their police department? Isn't the Minneapolis Police Department, now I don't know if this guy moved to Minneapolis, but isn't the Minneapolis Police Department supposed to be racist, sexist, homophobic after the George Floyd incident? Let's hope that Todd, now Genevieve, doesn't get arrested in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. Now, there were similar efforts back in 2006 with Rainbow Railroad to help LGBTQI plus migrants. But according to a Pew Research study, this is eye-opening here, according to a Pew Research study, to the poll here, about 2/3 of black adults, 68%, say that whether a person is a man or a woman is determined by the sex they were assigned at birth. And a smaller share say that the opposite is true, And someone can be a man or woman even if this differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. That's 31%. And 68% of black adults are slightly more likely than the general public, 60%, to say that gender is determined by sex. And about 8 in 10 black adults who attend religious services at least once a week, that's 84%, say gender is based on sex assignment at birth, which is higher than the shares among those who attend monthly or a few times a year, 63%, or who seldom or never attend, 57%. So even people in the black community aren't going for this whole transgender movement. I don't think this is sitting well with them that you're going to compare the struggle of the LGBTQI plus to the third degree of in community with slavery. So I thought I'd share this article with you. Article at Breitbart. Transgender activists now comparing their movement to slavery. Let's just all claim we're trans black. We're all trans black slaves. We're down with the struggle. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. You can also follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can find me at Twitter, Culture Confederacy, at CultureConfed1 on Twitter. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. And you know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. You all have a great weekend, and I'll catch you next time.